All right, so welcome to another deep dive. Today, today we're diving into the world of hotel websites.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, specifically what makes them, what makes them really engaging.
Right.
And we'll be looking at this article from Site Design Now.
Okay.
They're a web design company,
Interesting.
and they're based in Logan, Australia.
Yogan. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing how hotels, especially in a place like that, which has kind of a unique blend of that urban and natural beauty,
Right.
how they can really leverage a website to attract guests, but then also elevate the entire stay.
Yeah.
Really make it more than just booking a room.
Yeah. That's interesting because I've noticed, that, in a place like Logan, when you have that kind of mix of urban and nature, the website almost becomes part of the story,
Yeah.
the travel narrative. It's not just about, here's the information, the address. It's like it really ties into what the experience of that location is going to be like.
Right. It's like a destination in itself almost.
Yeah.
One thing that this article talks about that I thought was really interesting is captivating room listings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we've all seen hotel websites. We've all been on them. There's millions of them out there. What do you think makes those stand out? Those rooms that really grab you?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with going beyond, just the static photo. That they talk about dynamic galleries, even, using 360-degree virtual tours.
Wow.
So it's not just you're reading a description, you're almost stepping into that room.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And, just getting a feel for what it would be like to actually be there.
Yeah, creating that experience right from the get-go.
Right.
One thing I thought was interesting that I hadn't really thought about before is they talk about accessibility too.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, making sure that all these images and things are properly tagged and described. And they were saying that, it's not just about SEO, which, we think about a lot when we think about websites, but it's really about making it so that anyone can use that website.
Yeah, and I think it's something that's easy to overlook,
Mm-hmm.
when you're thinking about all the bells and whistles and the flashy design, but it's really a crucial part of that user experience.
Yeah.
And particularly in Australia with, the accessibility standards they have, it's even more important for businesses to be mindful of that.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
So okay, we've got the guests. They're on the website. They're looking at the rooms. They're virtually stepping into the room. They're getting excited about their potential stay there. What happens next? What's that? What can kind of make or break that experience, that booking experience?
Well, the booking system itself. I've been on websites where it's just a clunky system. It's hard to navigate. It's confusing.
Yeah, totally.
And that can really lead to, abandoned bookings. People get frustrated, they give up. So having a really intuitive design is essential.
Yeah.
And that goes hand in hand with mobile friendliness.
Yeah, definitely.
Because so many people are booking travel on their phones these days.
Right.
In fact, some people even argue that a mobile first approach to design is really the way to go now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I know I've definitely been in a situation where I've tried to book something on my phone and just given up because it was just too frustrating.
Right. Exactly.
Are there any specific things that the article calls out as being key to that seamless booking experience?
Yeah, they mention a few things. Having those call to action buttons really prominent, so they're easy to see and to tap on a smaller screen.
Mm-hmm.
Guest login options.
Okay.
So if it's someone who stayed there before, they don't have to go through that whole process of entering all their information again.
Right. Yeah.
And then, of course, fast loading times.
Yes.
People are just less patient than ever. So if your website is slow, you could be losing bookings because of it.
Yeah. Speed is key.
Yeah.
And I guess along with that, we can't forget about security, right?
Absolutely.
Especially when you're dealing with sensitive information like credit card details and all that.
Right.
Having that secure payment gateway.
Yeah.
I guess it's not just about compliance with regulations and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about building trust with the guest.
Exactly. Yeah. They need to know that their information is safe.
Yeah.
And that trust, I think, is also built through, something else that the article talks about, which is customer reviews.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Reviews.
You know?
Huge part of it.
Those are so important, because it's like that social proof, right? People want to see what other people have experienced.
Yeah, definitely. I know I look at reviews for everything, pretty much.
Right. And it can really make a difference in a potential guest's, decision-making process.
Absolutely.
So those positive reviews act as endorsements, basically,
Right.
from previous guests. And even constructive criticism, if it's handled well, can actually be a good thing.
How do you mean handled well?
Well, the article suggests, responding to those reviews, even if they're not, glowing 5-star reviews, but using a conversational tone, showing that you're actually listening.
Right.
You're engaging with that feedback. So it's not just about collecting those reviews.
Right.
It's about building that relationship with the guest even after they've stayed there.
Right. Yeah, that ongoing relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And they even talk about, going a step further and connecting those reviews to platforms like Google and TripAdvisor.
Okay.
To increase the visibility and the authenticity of those reviews.
Right. So it's like, yeah, you're taking it beyond just the hotel website. You're kind of leveraging those external platforms as well,
right,
to really reach a wider audience.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious about this because the article mentions that hotel websites can actually enhance the guest experience beyond just booking the room.
Right.
And I was wondering what they meant by that.
Well, think about it. You're visiting a new place, and you want to experience the best that it has to offer.
Of course.
So, if a hotel website, goes beyond just here's the room, here's the price, and they, showcase local attractions, dining, activities, things like that, it becomes more than just a place to book accommodation. It's like a curated guide.
Oh, that's a good point. It's like having a local friend, giving you recommendations.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it really adds value to the whole trip.
Right.
And from a practical standpoint, I imagine that also helps with their SEO as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if you're creating content that's focused on, local attractions, events, hidden gems, things like that,
right,
that's going to attract visitors who are searching for those specific experiences.
Yeah, yeah.
So, the article even suggests, creating blog posts or even, dedicated guides on their website.
Oh, wow.
that really offer, valuable insights for potential guests.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So we're talking about really painting a picture of that local experience. What role do you think visuals play in that, in really creating that immersive experience for people who are thinking about going there?
Oh, visuals are huge.
Yeah.
I mean, the article really stresses the power of high quality photos,
right,
but it's not just about, showing the rooms.
Yeah.
It's about capturing the feel, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Think about a picture of the pool area, bathed in that warm afternoon light.
Right.
Or a close up of a beautifully plated dish.
Yeah.
From the hotel restaurant. Those images, they evoke certain emotions,
Yeah.
and they help guests really envision themselves, enjoying those experiences.
Right. So it's going beyond just the functional aspects and tapping into that more aspirational side
Exactly.
of travel.
Yeah.
And for a place like Logan, like we were saying, with that really diverse landscape.
Right.
I mean, the possibilities are kind of endless there. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you could have these stunning shots of the national parks that are nearby. The city center, the vibrant city center.
Yeah.
Maybe even some, glimpses of local markets or festivals.
Right.
Things that are really unique to that area.
Yeah.
It's really about storytelling, isn't it?
It is.
Using those visuals to create a narrative that goes beyond just, here's our hotel.
Exactly.
It's like you're inviting the guests to become part of that story,
Yeah.
to experience it for themselves.
And speaking of telling a story, one way to really add depth and authenticity to that story is through featuring, real guest experiences.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So going beyond, the carefully curated marketing materials and really showing, what it's like to actually stay there.
Right.
What are some ways that hotels can do that?
Well, I think incorporating user-generated content is a great way to do that. So photos that guests have shared on social media,
Right.
maybe even short video clips
Oh, cool.
of them, enjoying different aspects of the hotel or the surrounding area. It adds that layer of realness
Yeah, yeah.
that potential guests can connect with.
It's like you're getting a sneak peek, you know, from someone who's actually been there,
Exactly.
which I think can be really persuasive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it also taps into that whole, desire for authentic experiences,
Right.
which we see more and more, with travelers these days. They don't just want, the glossy brochure version. They want to know what it's really like.
Right.
And this all ties back to that trust that we were talking about before, right?
Right.
I mean, showcasing those real guest perspectives can really, reinforce that sense of authenticity and transparency.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about a lot of different elements here,
Right.
from the visuals to the booking system to the content on the website.
Yeah.
How do all these pieces kind of come together to create that truly engaging experience?
Well, that's where the concept of user experience comes in.
Okay.
Or UX.
UX, right.
And it's really about thinking about the entire journey that a guest takes on the website.
Okay.
From the moment they land on the homepage.
Yeah.
To, the point where they make a booking.
Right.
And even beyond that.
So it's not just about having all the right elements. It's about how those elements work together.
Exactly. Yeah.
To create that seamless and enjoyable experience.
Right.
What are some of the key things that go into that?
Well, a well-designed website will guide the user intuitively. So it's easy for them to find the information they need.
Right.
To explore the different offerings.
Yeah.
And ultimately, to make a booking without any friction.
Right. So it's about removing any obstacles, any frustrations that might, prevent someone from actually booking a stay there.
Exactly.
And I guess that's where those seemingly small details can actually make a big difference,
These
right?
really can.
I mean, is the navigation clear? Is it easy to use?
Right.
Are the call to action buttons, prominent?
Yeah.
Is the website optimized for different devices?
Yeah.
Different screen sizes?
Yeah, all of those things matter.
It's fascinating to me how much thought and strategy goes into something that we kind of take for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, we just expect websites to work well.
Right.
But there's this whole world of design and development.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
A lot of work goes into it.
To make that happen.
Yeah.
And for hotels, I imagine getting that user experience right is really critical.
It's crucial. Yeah.
I mean, it can be the difference between, attracting those guests and losing them to the competition.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially in a world where, travelers have so many options.
Right.
Just a click away.
Yeah, they have so many choices.
So a well-designed website, it can really be that tool to stand out.
Yeah.
In that crowded marketplace.
Right.
And create that lasting impression.
Exactly.
That leads to bookings and hopefully repeat business.
Yeah.
So as we've seen, I think, from this deep dive.
Yeah.
Creating that engaging hotel website, it's about so much more than just, listing those rooms and prices. It's really about crafting this whole digital experience.
Yeah.
That captures, the essence of the hotel, the destination.
Right.
And the value proposition.
Exactly.
That really sets it apart.
Yeah.
From the competition.
Yeah, it's about creating a story that resonates with potential guests.
Right.
And inspires them to book their stay.
But in a world, that's so saturated with travel options, how can hotels really use their websites to create something truly unique, something personalized that really sets them apart?
Right. Yeah, that's the $1 million question, right? How do you stand out?
Right.
How do you cut through all that noise?
Yeah, and create something that people really remember.
Exactly.
I imagine it starts with understanding, who your audience is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just like any good story.
Yeah.
You got to know who you're talking to.
Yeah, right. Or you're telling that story to.
Yeah. I mean, you know, a luxury boutique hotel is going to have a very different target guest
Mm-hmm.
than, say, a family-friendly resort.
Right.
Right. So, and that understanding needs to be reflected in every part of the website.
Yeah.
You know, from the design, the aesthetic to even the language that's used in the copy.
So it's about more than just showcasing the amenities or the features.
Right.
It's about creating that feeling, that experience that really aligns
Yeah.
with what those particular guests are looking for.
It's about tapping into their desires, their expectations.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're trying to attract adventure travelers, maybe you showcase the local hiking trails,
Right.
you know, the outdoor excursions, that kind of thing. If it's for foodies, then it's all about the culinary scene,
Yeah.
the farmers markets, the chef-driven restaurants.
It's almost like you're tailoring that travel experience, but you're doing it digitally.
Exactly.
Through the website. And this is where I guess hotels can really lean into
Right.
their own unique strengths.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what is it that makes that particular property stand out? Is it the history,
Mm-hmm.
the architecture,
Right.
you know, the personalized service? Maybe they have an incredible spa
Mm-hmm.
or access to private beaches.
Right.
I mean, these are the things that should be front and center,
Yeah.
woven into that website's narrative.
Right. It's about going beyond those, the generic templates and really creating something that's a reflection of that specific hotel.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to get a little creative.
Oh, yeah?
You know, I mean, maybe there's an interactive map
Okay.
on the website that lets guests kind of plot out, you know, their ideal itinerary,
Oh, that's cool.
you know, based on their interests. or maybe there's a locals guide section
Right.
that's curated by the hotel staff,
Oh, I like that.
you know, sharing their favorite hidden gems in the area.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's those little touches, those unexpected moments of delight
Right.
that I think can really make a difference.
They can. And it all goes back to that, you know, that essential element of trust.
Right.
You know, when a website is well designed, when it's informative,
Yeah.
when it's engaging, it builds confidence in the hotel itself.
Mhm.
You know, it's like a virtual handshake.
Yeah.
You know, assuring the guest that their experience
Right.
is going to be, you know, equally thoughtful and well curated.
Right. You're setting that expectation.
Exactly.
Right, for the first interaction.
Right.
So I think, it's clear that creating that really engaging hotel website, it's a multifaceted thing. It's about design. It's about technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's about storytelling.
Yeah.
It's about really understanding that target audience.
And I think maybe even more importantly, it's about seeing that website not just as a booking tool,
Right.
but as an extension of the hotel experience.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first impression. You know, it's the virtual welcome mat.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity to really create a lasting connection
Yeah.
with potential guests.
It's been fascinating to really delve into this. I never realized how much goes into creating these really seamless online experiences
Right.
that we as travelers, kind of take for granted.
We do, yeah. We just expect things to work.
Right.
But
Yeah.
there's a lot of thought that goes into that.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of work behind the scenes to make it all happen. Well, as we wrap up, I'd like to leave our listeners with this thought. You imagine you're a potential guest. You're arriving at that hotel's website for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
What story does it tell you?
Yeah.
Does it inspire you? Does it make you want to book a stay?
Does it draw you in?
Yeah, yeah. Because in today's digital landscape, I mean, those first impressions are more important than ever.
They really are.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of engaging hotel websites. Hopefully you got some good insights,
Yeah,
maybe even a little inspiration
I hope so.
for your next trip.
Absolutely.
And until next time, happy travels.
Happy travels.